Yeah, brass is like an interesting. Maybe this is like dumb. Maybe there's like other. Maybe it's just because I don't have experience with other instruments because I only ever played the trumpet. But one interesting thing about the trumpet, and I think brass in general, is that um, it's a. I'll say that I'll at least talk on the trumpet because that's the one I have experience with. Is that two people can play the same note on the same trumpet and just in isolation, like you don't have to worry about being really in tune or anything. Two people can play the same note on the same trumpet, and one person can play it so good that you cry, and the other person can play it so bad that you cry. And it's this really, and no one really like knows why. It's this sort of weird mystical thing that like sometimes somebody just we usually just call it your tone, which is just this vague again, to use the word again, esoteric, uh, uh, yeah, mystical is how I would describe it, sort of quality that's sort of like a mix of, your air pressure and maybe like some other things, but you're the warmth, excuse me, the warmth of your breath, and maybe the temperature that you're in, maybe the location that you're in. I don't know, but there's just this thing where like sometimes you just hear someone play one note. Here's a good example. I think I was a sophomore. No, I was a freshman. And there was this guy in our jazz band who he was a senior. He was the top dog. He was the best trumpet player. He was like he was like the star of the band. And to boot, he was like a great guy. He was like a super high achiever, got great grades, did like water polo and shit. No, he did rowing. He did crew. He was really nice. He was a really, really nice guy. Great dude, like very like look up to him kind of thing. And I remember we'd go to like a jazz concert that would have like a lot of other bands there performing. And then when you're not performing or after your performance, you basically just go into the audience and just watch the other schools perform. And we're just sitting there. And mind you, this guy is like the best trumpet player like in our band that I've like heard, right? And we're just watching other high schoolers play. And the school gets up, and it's their second trumpet, the second chair trumpet, which is usually the solo position. And they get to this point in the song, and he plays this one note. And fucking the presence that he had in like 1 second, just from one tone, just... Oh, I feel like I want to cry thinking about it right now. Like I'm getting, like I could feel it welling up. And I remember looking at this guy, this senior, and all the trumpet players, we all look at him, and he just slowly turns his head to us, and his fucking jaw is down, and he's just, holy fuck. And it wasn't even like a trumpet player thing. Like, everyone, we were talking to our director afterwards about that, and like everyone in the band just knew, holy shit, that guy. Oh, and you can't even put like a super hard thing on like, well, where does that come from? What is specifically the thing? It's just he had the sound, he had the tone. It just creates these moments. That's why I don't know. Live music is really interesting like that. Sometimes someone just plays a note. Like in a recording, it's one thing, but you hear, like, you're there in person, you're like, oh, whoa. It's crazy. I remember our director said, yeah, that's the type of performance. I loved how he said this. He said it's the type of performance that makes you either want to give up or get better. It puts you so hard into perspective. It gives you such a hard perspective of how good you are in relation to someone else. It's like, fuck. Wow, I'll never forget that moment. I had a moment like that kind of with like YouTube. What's this guy's name? if you want to watch a great video, it's called this guy named Pat Finnerty. Oh, someone's walking outside. It's this guy called Pat Finnerty on YouTube, and he does a series called What Makes This Song Stink? And it's kind of a take on another music guy on YouTube. His name is Rick Beato, who does a series called Why This Song's Great, or something like that. But Pat does What Makes This Song Stink? And the first, 3 episodes? Yeah, the first, 3 episodes are just kind of it's it's sort of what you would expect from a video like that. It's like him sitting in front of the camera, and he's a musician guy, and he's talking about why he doesn't like a certain song, and he's breaking it down and on a musical level. And then you get to episode 4, and it's Hey Soul Sister by Train. Garbage song. Garbage band. And this video, I just put this on. It's 45 minutes. I put this on to kind of fall asleep watching, because I thought it was just going to be him talking about why he doesn't like a song, and it would be kind of nice little stuff to just help me go to sleep a little bit, kind of relax my brain. And it starts out, it doesn't even start out like that. It turns, I don't even know how to describe it. It's not even, it turns, okay. It starts out with him sitting down, and the first 7 minutes of this video aren't even him talking about the song. I think it's specifically, the joke is that he doesn't even want to talk about it. So he's just talking about anything else. He sits down, he makes a little mobile of guitar pedals that's just kind of rotating over his head, and he makes a camera that goes up that he sets behind him. And he's just bullshitting around, but his tone and the way that it's edited and cut together and the different camera angles he uses, it's very low. It's not very flashy, but it's very engaging. And the way that things are paced, the way that he talks, the way that his lines are cut together, and then he starts talking about the song, and the first segment on the song is how boring and bland the ukulele is, and then it just suddenly cuts to him, and he's in front of he set up 2 chairs in front of a gas station, and he's giving free ukulele lessons, and he just takes in this random old guy, and he just hey, you want to learn how to play the ukulele? And he teaches him how to play the ukulele riff from Hey Soul Sister in 10 minutes. And then it's him with this girl, and he's hey, this is Sarah, she works at the local mini golf course, and then he just teaches her how to play the riff, and he's hey, how are they treating you at the mini golf course? And they just have this conversation, and then it cuts back, and then he's talking to this indie band he knows, because he lives in Portland. He talks to this indie band he knows, and he convinces them to do a cover of this funk song from the 70s, and then it all ends up in he starts putting up posters around Portland for a demonstration, a protest against Hey Soul Sister, and then he's just hanging out in this public park with a van, and he puts up a banner that says it's called the Stop the Train protest, and people start showing up, and it just turns into this fucking crazy thing. It turns into this crazy production, and it just happens, and it's so natural and funny and entertaining, and I'm watching this, and I just feel like shit, because I'm fuck, my videos aren't anywhere near as good as this. I feel like I don't have a single video that's as good as this, and I've made 50, and this was this guy's 4th video. What the fuck? What is wrong with me? What? I felt so, nothing against him. If it sounds like I'm saying anything against him, it's not at all. It's just fuck. My God, I wish I was that good. I wish I made something this cool. Oh, man. Oh. Man, it makes me feel insecure, which I don't usually feel about my videos, but that did. Holy crap. Go watch that video. Really incredible. Pat Finnerty. What Makes This Song Stink? Hey Soul Sister. wow, like just oh my god, like another level. Like there's so little like it on YouTube. Oh man. Um yeah, it either makes you want to get better or quit. And I was caught in between. I'm like, do I just throw in the towel? I won't, don't worry. I'm too deep in. Too deep into this now. Um yeah, I don't know. Just that just blew me away. I had like a thing that I was thinking about, and then I totally like lost it. I totally forgot what I was gonna talk about. Whatever.